Hello, my name is Collie from my Pilates School, and I would just like to share a little video with you today on swimming in the box position. A fabulous core strength move and also great for your shoulder stabilizers as well. So I've got my little witch's broomstick handle here, which some people like to call it, and I use it sometimes in class, not all the time because I'm not that horrible, but I use it to help people who are struggling to find having a little bit of proprioception on how they feel in neutral on the hands and knees, because it's quite tricky because you haven't got any mirrors around, you're facing the floor, so you can't see what you're doing, and sometimes you need somebody just to help you feel what's happening to your back. Especially sometimes the head starts to drop, you start to lose that neutral position. So ideally, we should be having the back of the head, the heart line and the sacrum touching the post. So the only place you've got the gap is here where your lumbar spine is, just the back of the navel here, behind the navel, and the neck. And everything else stays touching the post. It's quite tricky because you might feel that you're going to start tucking under. So you start to round the back and the post will fall off. Or you might start to draw up the head a little bit so you lose contact with that post. So keep touching it. Or you might feel as if the abdominals start to become quite tired and you start to sink here in the thoracic spine. As it starts to dip, the post goes. So maintaining those 3 points of contact, then you're going to have to start moving. Okay, so we're going to start with the right arm. Going to slide the right arm out in front and lift it off the floor, almost as if it's completely weightless. 3-second hold, and then bring it back down slowly. Taking it out to the other side, left arm, changing sides as you float the arm, and then slowly releasing. So you're trying not to sink too much into your hands, the weight stays centred. Your nose is a little bit forward of the knuckles, so you're not sitting too far back, and you're not leaning too far forward. You're halfway between the two. 90-degree angle at the hip joint and at your shoulders. Slide your shoulders down your back. So think about working the middle of the back here to keep the shoulders down so they're not up by your ears. Especially if you're concentrating, this always happens. So trying to keep these down and keep these middle of the back muscles working. Working in the latissimus dorsi and keep working the abdominals as well. So keep centering, pulling in your centre to make sure that you're not dipping your hips from side to side and you're not starting to sink. It's quite a tricky move. If you haven't got one of these, don't worry, you can just go into a cat stretch, start to mobilise the thoracic and the lumbar spine, get the pelvis moving, and then find halfway between those two tilts, so what feels like halfway for you. Slide your shoulders down, keep the chin gently tucked in, so it's not towards the chest too much, but just very gently, almost as if you've got a little peach underneath the chin, and keep it there. So the back of the head stays in line with the spine, and then off you go. Just 1 or 2 breaths holding, and releasing. Okay, so once you're happy with that, we'll start to introduce the legs, but I'll do that in a different video. So I want to master the technique first, focusing on your core stability so the hips aren't moving, focusing on your shoulders, focusing on the head staying in line with your spine, and just slowly lifting and lowering, alternating arms. Trying to lengthen through the arm, so you get a stretch here into your lats as well, and try not to have the elbow too bent. Want to lengthen through the fingers. Head stays in line as well, so you're not dropping the head of the ear towards your arm, trying to keep the head centred in line with your spine. Okay, have a practice and see how you get on, and let me know some feedback, and if you've got any questions at mypilateschool.co.uk. Thank you.